Well, our next guest, Christina Lamb, has interviewed some of the biggest newsmakers in the world, the likes of Benazir Bhutto or Augusto Pinochet. But it's her latest assignment that's causing the most interest.
It's because she spent a year shadowing and writing I Am Malala, the official biography of Malala Yousufzai, the brave young activist who was shot by the Taliban.
Our reporter Priyanka Dutt sat down with Christina and began by asking her about her first impressions of Malala.
She has this public figure and she is incredibly brave. She's the bravest person that I know. She risked her life for the idea that girls should go to school. And she would be the first to say actually that she's not unique, that there are many other girls around the world fighting for the same rights, but that she's been given this platform and she's determined to use it, and I'm sure that she will. But she still, when she's at home, likes the things that teenage girls like.
In retrospect, through all these years of reporting, do you feel there was any event or news story that you can revisit and you would have done differently or perceived differently?
I think what's become frustrating in my job is it's become more dangerous to be a journalist. In many places we're regarded as a target. We're getting very little reporting now from inside Syria because it's become too dangerous. I mean, for journalists trying to report it, they're regarded as targets by both sides, by some of the Islamist rebels and also by government forces too. So it's become extremely dangerous, and frankly it's not being reported properly.
You were part of a Benazir Bhutto rally which saw suicide attacks and deaths and mayhem. What was going on in your mind at that time?
Benazir pointed out to me that the street lights were going out as we moved on, which seemed very sinister. The security people were worried because there was supposed to be jamming of the mobile phones, and yet it wasn't. We were all on our phones. And then, the route they had chosen went under lots of flyovers and bridges which had people on top, and it seemed to me it would be very easy for someone to take a pot shot at her. And I asked the security chief, how can you protect her? And he literally just put his hands like this and said it's in God's hands, which I didn't find that reassuring.
Very reassuring. No, but what's your first instinct when you heard about the bombs going off? Was your first instinct as a reporter that, okay, I need to record this scene happening around me?
Is your first everything happened very quickly. Suddenly there was this sound, like just a big boom, and actually there were two bombs, and that was small bombs to start with. Everybody fell to the ground, and then people started getting up. And actually I have been in suicide bombings before in Afghanistan, so I knew that often there is a second bomb. The first is just to kind of get everyone stopped and in one place. So I actually shouting at people, don't get up, but before I could really say anything, it must have been within a minute, I think, there was a huge blast. And then everything seemed to be on fire around us. There was all this orange flame, all the trees were on fire, and you could hear well, first like it was silence, the music and everything stopped, and then you could hear people screaming, and then after some time sirens started. Quickly I realized I was fine, but 3 people had been killed on top of the bus. There was nothing you could do for them. I mean, they were clearly dead. And then everybody else on top was just trying to get off as quickly as possible. We were very worried that because we were on top of a bus with a big petrol tank and there were flames everywhere, that it would catch fire. So the priority was to get off as quickly as possible. And once I was off, then wondering where Benazir was, because she had gone downstairs to work on her speech that she was due to give when we finally arrived at the Jinnah Mausoleum. So she'd disappeared. She'd actually been taken out quickly. And so, really, it was complete confusion and everybody was just trying to get out.